Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, published on Rumble, on the blogger site as an archive post, and for extra support everything is also posted on Patreon. And any kind of updates or other such I usually go about on Twitter X. Regarding the channel, got a little bit VOD stuff happening here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to upload the last VOD episode from not yesterday's but the day before stream. And regarding streams, I will be I had to tweak about it. I will be streaming 1080p 60 in both platforms, YouTube and Rumble. See if I can make a consistent quality, at least on Rumble, because I'm having some issues regarding the consistency of the stream there. So I had to downgrade per se the for 1080p on YouTube, but it should be good quality, so it's not going to be very compressed. I think I've been streaming AV1 on YouTube, so we'll see how it goes. On Rumble, I will try to maintain at least 1080p 60 in a good bitrate quality there. But yeah, but again, I cannot make it any kind of commitment on a scheduled kind of a thing there with streams. So I always ask people to follow me on Twitter. When I able to do some streaming, I will with some time before, like 10 minutes before. Usually I post it on Twitter or something like that to let people get in on the stream itself. And later today we should be having Jedi Fallen Order episode. I think we are reaching the end of the game itself, at least from the story beats and how things are debating there. I think we are managing to get around and finishing up Jedi Fallen Order. And of course, after I finish Jedi Fallen Order, I will continue with the same slot on Jedi Survivor. Already been doing some testing just in case. I've been seemingly to do at least a stable like 4K kind of ultra settings. I have to tweak some settings here and there to my liking, and I've been mentioning around 75 frames per second, give or take, with almost everything on ultra. And again, no DLSS or any, not DLSS, no upscaling technology, no frame generation, no nothing. If I can, I will avoid it by all means, those technology, because I think to a certain degree they at least with my setup, they don't do any, I don't know, they don't improve the experience itself. Unfortunately, because I at the moment in time been able to get around, at least for my liking, 4K 60 frames per second is enjoyable for me, especially for the types of games that I play. I don't play first-person shooters, so I don't need like ultra low lags and pings and all that stuff. But yeah, and tomorrow, of course, we got Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, and then Saturday is no gameplay, and then I should be able to get around and take a day off on Sunday. But I will try to stream in between there, here and there. Maybe I might get around and stream something today. My preference is to at least go through Elden Ring until I feel comfortable of reaching almost at the end of the game, so we can have a character at least kind of prepared for the DLC. And if I manage to do that with some time left until the DLC comes out in June, I maybe will start streaming Death Stranding, because I really want to catch up with this game. I only made 2 streams here, and since the last stream I didn't play the game at all. I've been quite busy with work and then doing the gameplay series plus the streaming. It takes a lot of my time. I'm basically just playing games for recording or for streaming, so I need to be more picky when I do so. But yeah, regarding the channel updates, this is it. A lot of stuff still coming out, similarly from GDC or I think GTC. I think there is a GDC now. It's GTC also. I'm not sure if it is a typo, but they repeat it also here. Um, yeah, I don't know what's the difference here. I don't know. I thought it was only GDC Games Developers Conference, something like that. Even though that there are some interesting news from that regarding DEI and ASG bullshit there. 15% of the talks there are dedicated to those to those things there, which is kind of inflating also a little bit of the game. I try not to put myself too much in those news because there is a lot of she said what he said, but still there is a lot of proof in the pudding to talk about a lot of it. But I usually try to keep myself to those opinions to myself. When the game is good and if it doesn't have those things imbued in the game itself, I usually recommend it or not, depending on if the game is enjoyable, if it has a good story arc, if it doesn't have forced perspectives that are not relevant to the story itself. Usually I like to play those games. Or if it has a kind of a message to a certain degree, but it's not the message of just ideological message regarding the ESGs and the DIIs, because it is just by or the skin of the color of preferred sexualities or whatever they want to identify themselves. As long as the story doesn't involve that, it has more philosophical themes or something like that, or try to put a message of something. Usually Kojima usually tends to hit the as a prediction, hit the nail in the head, or the head in the nail. I don't know how the saying goes, but if you played Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, there is a lot of stuff that is happening right now, and the subconscious games that it came out afterwards, especially Metal Gear Solid 4. There is a lot of stuff that is happening now that was to a certain degree predicted at that time, which is a little bit prophetic in that sense, and to a certain degree that's training also from what I've been playing and what is happening there. There is a lot of prophetic messaging there also, which is weird by itself. But yeah, again, talking about hardware, which is the main topic here. Similarly, SK Hynix, which is part of AMD, if not mistaken. I think AMD, I think it was this company that they acquired mainly to work on memory stuff for the GPUs and all the other things that AMD does. Supposedly, we saw this like a showcase here on their product stack, the upcoming and recent product stack. Similarly, they are going to put GDDR7 up to 40 gigabytes per second. Yesterday we got the announcement from NVIDIA using Samsung memory, this kind of memory on they are using between 28 and 32 gigabytes memory modules. Again, this is early stages of GDDR7. I assume, and even in the article, they assume this will be the life cycle of the GDDR7. They will be able to achieve up to 40 gigabytes per second, because again, it's referencing here up to and even up to. So I think it's during the life cycle of this GDDR7 memories life cycle here. I assume that's what they are trying to aim for. Again, there is no, let's say, there is no out of the gate GDDR7 what kind of product they are going to launch, if it is going to be at a specific speed or not. But yeah, supposedly they, where is it? Again, in this site I cannot highlight the things I want to talk about. Here, additional Hynix has confirmed to plans to do 16 and 24 gigabyte memory modules, the latter with a capacity of 3 gigabytes. This is gigabit stuff, so don't confuse with 3 gigabytes. Which basically this 3 gigabyte module here, it will enable different configurations. Usually we had like I think they called binary modules, which is you just double up, so 8, 16 and 32, but we had 16 and usually it goes for 24, but it can be 32 supposedly because it's doubling. But for GPUs, I think we can now have, for example, a 9, so multiples of 3 from what I understand with GDDR7, which is going to be very interesting, because instead of 8 you can have like a 9 or a 12, and then you can even have, I don't know, 15 gigabytes instead of 12, and then instead of 16 you can have multiples of 3, so, oh my god, my math head is not that good, but around 21, and instead of 24 you can have like 27 or something like that, or even 30. It's going to be interesting what they're going to try to do about this GDDR7. I'm not sure if this is going to be implemented on consumer GPUs for gaming. For sure they will have the priority on the AI accelerator stuff there. For sure that's their priority, to utilize this kind of faster memory for there, because mainly of the workloads usually need a lot of bandwidth and a lot of speed of the memory stuff. But yeah, it's good to see this being implemented again, and my only hope is at least it doesn't increase too much the prices of the GPUs, at least for the final consumer. From AMD, we got also FSR 3.1 with to enable frame generations, and the interesting thing is image quality improvements. Got a GIF here trying to demonstrate here in terms of upscaling, comparing 2.2, the FSR 2.2 to 3.1, so less ghosting supposedly, and again a lot of more temporal stability, which is like the shimmering thing that usually happens in some games on with FSR activated, and you can see a notable, at least from this example, noticeable reducing on that kind of shimmering there. Again, I think this is Ratchet and Clank as an example from the images and videos that I saw from the game. This seems like Ratchet and Clank, so it's a recent game here again. And of course, the frame generation thing can be decoupled from FSR, so it can be isolated, integrated. So suppose you can have like DLSS with frame generation from NVIDIA, supposedly. Mainly because the frame generation is still at the driver level, is not it's not proprietary to a specific application. So yeah, at least they are if they continue to improve and catching up in terms of quality with DLSS, I think FSR will be a more suitable alternative if you want to use upscaling technology. I just hope that if they are going to introduce on the consoles, like I mentioned yesterday, regarding having the FSR being AI mandated or regulated per se, in terms of the upscaling technology, supposedly it's better because the AI takes the game data and then upscales everything according to what it's being fed on through the game itself. It's more an application by application use than having it like a overall one size fits all solution, which is the approach from AMD at this moment in time. I don't know. Hopefully you will have, for example, the ability of choosing. But yeah, this is something for later. This is not being the AI improved upscaling technology from AMD. It's not being adopted at this moment in time, but it will be maybe adopted in consoles because of the new hardware that supposedly will be announced or upcoming. I don't know. I don't follow up that much on the console stuff. But yeah, very interesting news regarding this. And regarding gaming, we finally started. I just noticed this yesterday, late at night on my time zone. I assume beginning of the day United States, usually it's when I catch things. It's because of the different time zone. A lot of Dogma reviews here, and one of the things that are consistent in all of them, it's a little bit on the, at least in terms of PC performance, you really need a very high-end PC to get around and having like high frame rates. And I think there is some CPU bottlenecks, and I think mainly it's not even graphic-wise the problems of the things. I think that it's more optimization of the fact that the CPU is used a lot for the systems, and the fact that it uses CPU a lot because of the NPCs, the pawn system, and how they interact with the world. So they have to be constantly instructing, the CPU has to be calculating all those operations, how the pawns are using the environment, and I think especially when you get huge amounts of NPCs on the for example on cities. I think it overwhelms a little bit the CPU there, but supposedly they are aware of this, and we'll see how this. Again, there is not huge amounts of like huge mess of stuttering or like poor quality graphics. It's more about trying to maintain a fine line on the fact that when you have a lot of NPCs on the zone that you are, this can overwhelm a little bit the CPU, and usually this will not solve by just lowering the graphic qualities there. I think it's mainly about the CPU usage. Again, that's why I think that's why I was a little bit curious regarding this game, particularly because of the engine itself, the RE engine or To the Moon engine or whatever they are calling in-house from the Capcom engine, how it deals with open world, and it seems to be at this moment in time struggling a little bit, mainly with NPC stuff or CPU usage, because if you think about it, most of the games that they're being using on this the games that they're using on this engine were Resident Evil games, so there is not a lot of NPCs around or a lot of stuff to calculate from the CPUs CPU wise. But yeah, it's interesting that it can manage to go around, maintain a great quality in terms of graphic fidelity and as such. But it seems that the CPU usage needs to be more optimized with this engine here. At least that's my perspective so far. But yeah, overall, in terms of the reviews themselves, they are being pretty consistent. Again, this is not a game for everybody because mainly of the gameplay systems that they are introducing here. Usually you don't see them in a lot of RPGs, and I think one of the most relevant ones is mainly the lack of fast traveling to a certain degree. There is some systems for fast traveling, but they are very sparse and very limited of what you can use in terms of fast traveling and how you traverse the world. There is no torrent for you to have a mount and go about the world itself. You basically travel on foot, I don't know, 80% of the time. Then you have a system that has like carriage to go around, but it's very specific to certain locations, so you don't have like a taxi function there to a certain degree. And again, when you use that system, that can be interrupted, the travel, with some raids from monsters or from bandits or something like that. Got also the fact that the mission structure system, you can basically fail almost every mission to a certain point. If you don't prepare yourself for those missions that you want to do. There is time sensitive things. For example, food expires, the mission, if they are critical, they expired. So if you have to rescue somebody, if you take too long, they will die, and then the mission fails. There is a lot of this kind of realistic, let's say, implementation of some gameplay systems there. And it's not going to be it for everybody, but even though I really want to try out this game. But yeah, it's similarly seems pretty great. A great game between 8.5 and above. I've been seeing consistently. I watch at least 3 or 4 reviews. And yeah, the consensus seems to be around this. Again, and almost every review that I watched, they mentioned this probably is not going to be a game for everybody because of the systems implemented there, of what people are expecting from an open world RPG. It's a very unique take on that. But yeah, the combat is not easy. The vocations, which is basically the classes, are very specific, so you cannot use, for example, in most recent scenario case for me, it's Elden Ring, cannot use any kind of weapon, so vocations are very limited to what kind of weapons they can use and the abilities, even though you can change between vocations if you really want to. easily enough. But yeah, there are a lot of stuff that it's the preparation before missions, the fact that the transverse the environment is mainly done by foot. Got the day-night cycle that can be very rough on the gameplay there, and there is I noticed also regarding the the saves on the game. Similarly, there are only two saves. It's autosave, and especially when you die or you have a fail state, you can only load the latest autosave or the last time you rested on a campfire, which is very interesting at this moment in time, at least from the reviews. I don't know if the final launch version will have like manual saves for you to be have more freedom, or to a certain degree have save scumming option there. But yeah, it's very interesting how this game will be received in overall scheme of things. But still, I'm very interested in playing this game one of these days. But the overall consensus also is it's an improved version from the first Dragon Dogma. Story beats are very similar, or they are very similar to the first one. The way they didn't bring up very new stuff there, but what they bring to the table, it seems pretty good. That's my overall take from the reviews that I saw. Continuing, we got news from Remedy says that Alan Wake 2 supposedly recouped most of the investment. Again, if you don't give numbers to people, this can be most can be between 51 to 99%. So again, it's very vague. And the studio plans to do more regular sequels for Alan Wake and Control, which they are interconnected with each other to a certain degree. But yeah, there's also the fact that they had to invest on retaking Control IP Control from which one? 505 Games, which was the publisher, and had some have some IP management on Control, if not mistaken. And of course, they are also investing both from continuing with Alan Wake, with the release of the 2 DLCs and the Control 2. You got also the remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2, which similarly they have both of these remakes will have the development budget of Alan Wake 2, which is, I think it's a little big investment there. From what I understand, I'm not sure how much was the budget from Alan Wake 2, but it was not a cheap one. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just hope that from the things that I saw, again, every day that passes, I hope at least it will come to Steam. Again, it seems that they have time exclusivity on Epic Game Store, but even with that, they seem to be selling well. We'll have to wait and see. Regarding Lies of Pi, supposedly has surpasses 7 million players. Again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. The player stuff, mainly because from day one on Xbox, this game is available for the Game Pass stuff. So it's players, not sales, but still, it's a lot of players there. Taking into account Game Pass users or not. It is good to see. One of the consensus here is also that they're basically one of the best non-From Software Souls-like kind of games there that's been made here. And yeah, when I see it on the deal, I always mention this game for you to take into consideration. And yeah, and supposedly they might be working on the DLC, or they are working at the moment in the DLC. I remember covering some rumors regarding that, but by the top of my head, I don't remember if they are going to launch or not, but I think they will. Yeah, sorry, there it is. Furthermore, knowing is already working on the first DLC. Okay. But yeah, it's good to see that this game is selling well. Good games, when they sell well, I'm always happy. Especially on like this kind of studios, they are trying a new IP. It's like to a certain degree experimental thing here, but yeah, it's good to see that. And lastly, we got Alpha Protocol for PC will return via GOG. Again, this game was delisted some time ago, mainly because of the expired music licenses. It was at 2019, yeah. That it was listed from everywhere, and Simile is going to be returning to, at least for now, for GOG. Of course, I think they basically bought the licenses there, or renewed the licenses for the music stuff there. And they are launching for GOG for $20 basically. Again, no DRMs, and they make a point of every game that is there that it doesn't have DRM. That's why you don't see sometimes a lot of new upcoming releases directly on GOG, because they are not willing to get rid of the DRM stuff there. But yeah, all the games, versions of the games that you buy there, no DRM, which is always good to see a platform support something like this. And that's why I usually try to, when I see good deals there, I always refer people to take in consideration buying games there. But yeah, again, it contains additional or brought back features that, for example, the license soundtrack there, again, achievements, full control support localization, compatibility with modern systems, because it's a game from 2009 or something like that, 2010, and cloud save support, which is always good to see. And yeah, basically in terms of games, this is what I got. Regarding gaming deals, we still have Deus Ex Mankind Divided for free, at least until 7 p.m. of my time. At the time of the recording is almost 1 o'clock of the afternoon, so around, I don't know, almost finished, but I will leave it here because it's a free game, and free games, even if like 5 minutes before expiring, is always a good way to try and get it out. Again, this game is pretty good, even the base game here. But yeah, there is a deal at the moment in time if you want to buy the digital deluxe edition, which I think I have it on here on the gaming deal section. On the Steam, I will not bring anything because it's when the time that it's going to be published, you might have like maximum 1 hour after publishing, so basically lose the effect of doing gaming deals. They are not valid when you watch the video. So I brought up from GOG basically all of them because they have the, I think, spring sale until 4th of April. So I think it's a better choice there. We got the Plague Tale stuff, Duology on sale. So Innocence and Requiem, they are on sale on GOG. Alien Isolation, the collection, a pretty good game. I managed to do the base game walkthrough. Series, I don't know how many years, it's before I had to leave my country, so at least 5 years ago, give or take. And I think it holds up still in terms of graphic wise, very inspired on the first Alien there in terms of overall environment and the ship there, the design thing. It's pretty good. We got BioShock, so BioShock 1 Remastered, 75% off. BioShock 2 Remastered, 85% off, and BioShock Infinite Complete Edition, 80% off. So it will get around the same value that if you bought it on Steam. So it's basically the same thing. We got also Control Ultimate Edition. Again, here this has the same price, which is basically $10 when it goes on sale. Usually it's the price that it stays there. We've got Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition, 33% off. Again, here regarding mods, there is a workaround in terms of implementation of the mods if you want to do so. So there is no big issue on putting mods with the version of this version of the game. We got also Days Gone still until the end of the month, basically till the 29th, 75% off. Yeah. We got this little game here that it's director's cut. I made a series out of this, and for the price, it's a very good experience here. Again, it's not a very long game. It's a 2D side-scrolling game. It's a post-apocalyptic thing there, but the puzzling stuff, it's good enough to justify the price here. We got also Deus Ex Human Revolution director's cut, again 85% off, usually around this price point of $3. And here, yeah, you got Deus Ex Mankind Divided. This is the digital deluxe edition, so all the extra goodies and the playable DLC is included on this version, and it's only like $6.50. I think if you claim for free on Epic Game Stores, and then if you buy the the deluxe version or upgrade to the deluxe version, it's going to be more expensive that at this price point here, because it's not on sale on Epic Game Store. That's for sure. And also we got Horizon Zero Dawn 75% off, again the same price on Steam when it goes on sale. We got Jagged Alliance free 50% off. This is one of these ones that I really want to get into one of these days. I'm very interested in playing this game, and it's got pretty good reviews here. The same guys that did the first two mainline games were back to do this game, so it's got that pedigree there. And lastly, we got Metro, a franchise bundle, again 84% off. This has got all the Redux versions plus the Exodus and the DLC associated with it for $9.50. So I think it's exactly the same price that on Steam, or even a little bit cheaper. I'm not sure, but yeah, it got everything here. All the DLC from the free games there, and of course it's the Redux version. And yeah, basically is everything that I got for you today. I'm just going to plug in my Patreon here for extra support. Extra support at this moment in time will be more for me to be able to get backups. So backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and some extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, Kunamy Master out.